Hi there, and welcome to Yuri James, and it's day number 6 for the 12 days of Christmas. So, today we are going to talk about boundary setting and also how to reinforce those boundaries. So, the first thing I would say in setting boundaries is you need to know what you feel and what you want first. That is leading me. If you don't know you, it's really difficult then to set the boundaries. And then there's no way of reinforcing those. So you can say at any time that this person, I didn't want to do that and I ended up doing it, and it's because they made me, right? They didn't make it. You made yourself do it. Okay. You made yourself do it either because you don't know me well enough to know what you really want. And a lot of times when people talk about, you know, I hear it all the time at the moment where people throw accusations around at others and they talk about narcissisms. And yes, if someone has been diagnosed with that, then yeah, narcissistic personality. Just because we go on the net and we read a couple of things and we go, oh yeah, they're that and that and that. I hate to tell you guys, but so are you some of the time. But we, of course, don't want to look at that. So, unless we know who we are and we are leading me because I know who I am, I know what my values are, I know what my purpose in this earth is, I know what my vision is, I know exactly what I'm doing and where I'm going. If you're not in that situation, then it will be hard for you to set boundaries because a lot of the time we're too busy trying to people please because we're trying to get satisfaction from outside of us rather than inside of us. So that's why it's so important for me that I get leading me out there, that people totally understand it is my responsibility to me to know what my boundaries are so I can set them. Then I can reinforce those boundaries. But if I don't know them and somebody smashes through them and then you go, oh, I didn't want to do that, but then I had to, then that's just because either one, you don't know what your boundaries are and you haven't set them properly, or two, you're just allowing somebody to smash through those boundaries. So the first thing I'd say to you is intuition. You have to look at, does it feel right for me to do this at this moment in time? There's a reason why there's sand here and a little footprint. Not because it's summertime here in Oz and we're stepping on beaches all the time barefoot, but because actually we're grounding ourselves. And when we ground ourselves, that is, the earth, and there's lots of studies on this, the earth is actually, pulling out the positive ions within us and sending up negative ions to balance our bodies out. That's why it feels good when we're standing on sand or earth or in the forest. We're getting loaded with lots and lots of negative ions. And it's what we're needing because we're surrounded by electronics. Yeah, I'm speaking to you down an electronic device so that you can hear me. Well, I'm getting blasted with positive ions. So at points in time, we need to turn back to our intuition. And one of the best ways of doing that is getting grounded, right? There's no surprise that we call it earthing when we earth electrical things. We're doing exactly the same with our feet. We're electrically, we have electricity run through our body all the time, but we are earthing ourselves, grounding ourselves in Mother Earth. So by going there and going in, we can then go, well, what is our boundaries? What's our boundaries all about? The second thing we have to look at is we then have to trust what we feel. Okay, this is a big thing that most people don't take care of, is the trust element. So we need to trust our own intuition, that it feels right to us, so we do it. Not it feels right to us, we'll do it, but somebody says we should do something else. Our head then gets in the way and goes, maybe we should. Then we do it, we go, oh, I didn't want to do that. Well, actually, your head took over. So this is the leading me part where, we moved and we went with what we believed someone else is doing. So we're either bigging it up or belittling them, belittling ourselves, bigging it up. If we're out of sync and we're allowing the ego to manage us, that's not a good place for ego to be. best place for ego. And by the way, forget this. We don't need ego or leave ego at the door. What a lot of bollocks that is. It's not about leaving ego anywhere. We're human beings. We've come in with this to help us. So make sure it comes in that middle ground of leading me, and we actually master ego. When we do, we go to intuition, and then the big thing of all is that we trust it. We have to trust ourselves, not what other people are thinking. So that then leads me to, well, that's your boundaries. You know what they are. You can't keep trying to make other people feel happy, because you'll feel very unhappy at the end of that, because you can't do that. Only they can make themselves feel happy. And we talked about happiness, focusing on happiness in day 4. It's your choice whether you decide to have boundaries and let people know what those boundaries are, and then to reinforce them. Because if somebody, we teach what we tolerate, guys. So if you've always done what somebody else has wanted you to do, to be honest with you, you've taught them to treat you that way. So you then have to go, okay, what do I really, really want here? If I don't want to do that, my choice is I do it. And then I have to accept that I have made that choice. That was yesterday's, made that choice to do it. Or if I don't want to do it, I put the boundaries up and say, well, I'm actually not doing that. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or feels about it. Intuition-wise, it feels good to me. So I'm not going to do it. And here's my reasons why. You don't have to go, well, I'm not doing that. You want to do that. You remember accusation. That's just, again, we're out of sync. We're blaming. You're bigging it up. I didn't want to do this. You made me do that. And we're jumping to and fro. That's the ego. Okay, your ego is ruling you, mastering you. So master ego, come in here. Mastering ego does not mean that you don't say this is what I want or what I don't want, but you can explain it. I don't want to do that because of this, right? And then you can either come to a compromise with the person, and that's a compromise you want to make, or that's just it, and maybe they don't like it, and you have to go, well, okay, they don't. I'm not going to react to that. So make sure that you are in here when you're setting your boundaries and when you reinforce those boundaries, because what that brings you is that deep joy. Deep joy because you've followed your intuition and you've trusted your intuition. This is right for you. May not be for others. That's up to them, but it is right for you. Okay, so it's going to bring you deep joy every single time. And as I often say, if we're actually doing the leading me part, then we're not in this belittling side of things, right? We're not in this judgy and controlling, bigging it up. We're actually in this being responsible, balanced, being responsible for me and my feelings and my joy. Not somebody else can give you the joy or the feeling, but they certainly can add to me not feeling good if I allow them to just smash right through my boundaries, especially when I don't even know what those boundaries are, but I feel the smash through. So boundaries and reinforcing, that will bring you great joy, great love. It'll feel really good for you. People around you, if they don't like that, they'll drop off, right? Because some people can't deal with it because you've taught them a certain way of behaviour. So now it's your time to let them see what you really want. They may not like it. You may end up having people leave your space, but what will happen is the people who love what you're doing will come into your space. That's you just lifting your vibration higher. You'll get more higher vibration people in. If you keep it low, then the low people come in and suck you dry. That part's up to you. That's your choice, as we talked about yesterday. Okay? So keep smiling at yourself each and every day. Appreciate whatever is around you. Day 2. Open your heart, right? Open the heart center, and that will bring you great joy. Focus on your happiness, which is actually linked to today's boundary setting and also choice, because you can choose not to set your boundaries, but don't bump your gums about why this is not good for you, because all you're doing is going into that belittling side and that victim side. So when you catch yourself there, you know where you are, guys. You can move yourself back into leading me, right? That's mastering your ego. Notice it says ego situation here. That's it. That's precisely it. I'm out of control here, and I'm out of control here. The place I'm in control is there. As a control freak, the day and hour I realised that I could control something, which was me and my reactions, that was a joyous day for me. However, I can't control anyone else's reactions, so concentrate on your own. Don't spend your time trying to help people and satisfy people, because it won't bring you joy. It'll bring you anything but joy, to be honest. Good to see you online, Karen. Karen's saying, I sometimes pop to either side of this, but I do come back to the middle. It is a great point you make, Karen, because we're human beings. That's what happens. It depends on how far we're pulling ourselves to each. The biggest thing of all is the recognition. If we do not become aware of anything, you can't get yourself back into the middle. So what it tells me is you're able to catch yourself, which is an awareness, which is fantastic, because now I can do something about that. If I'm not aware, then I can't get myself back into that middle ground. Okay. So thanks for being there, and remember, comments, subscribe, follow, thumbs up, love hearts, everything. Throw your love at me, please. Let's hear from you, and let me know what boundaries you have been setting or not setting in the case, and what boundaries you feel you have to set this year in this festive season, because this is the time when boundaries are really, one, not sorted, and two, where people crack up because of the boundaries that are in here but are not said. Okay, so let me know about those and what boundaries you're going to set this year to make it a happy festive season for you, which will make it a happy festive season for all. So that's today's boundary setting and reinforcing. As always, stay true, stay you, keep bringing out your brilliance, and I'll be back tomorrow with day number 7. You take care. Bye for now.